A beautiful day in Tilton. It's so silent, nothing disturbing. Everybody lives in peace. And there's no... Oh, hello there, old friends. I apologize for the inconvenience here. There was a little, let's say, beef between me and the clock tower. And now if I start this whole thing, see what happens. Just how? But it should be solved now, and I think we could actually start building the water storm. To create the perfect storm on this map, we obviously have to first find out how big we actually want to make the storm. And for that, we can use this ancient device, which is called the basic storm controller. And I think that's a little bit too big. Let's say 100 meters. I think 100 meters is a lot better. Okay, so now that we know our storm radius is 100, we need to go in and actually make the storm. But we're not going to do this here. The basic storm controller is down. We have 100 meters. The wait time is 5 seconds. So this is the slowest you can do. So it always starts on 5 seconds. And the resize time is 2 minutes for now. You could technically also use the advanced storm controller, but I think for our case, it's just enough to use the basic one. Now we do need the water, and for that, we're going to use the elemental cube gallery. Okay, so some of you guys are wondering why we're using this gallery instead of the water device. And actually, it's a very simple answer. You cannot put the prop mover in this water device, so that means that it can literally not move. For our water storm, I decided to use this piece over here. You can technically use any of these pieces. You can even use the lava now. The only piece you cannot use is this one right here, which is actually the coolest looking water piece, but it doesn't really have the smart textures, you can say. You can see it like kind of doesn't merge. So this water right here is actually the exact same water as this one. For the water tab, we want to make it as big as possible and place it at the end of our circle and place it dead center so it's like perfectly lined. Maybe to actually have it inside of the storm, so something like this. I also want to make sure that we place this on 4 grid snap. What we have to do is align our prop mover with the water, so now we can actually move the water. Start. So since we have 5 seconds wait time, we also need to make this 5 seconds, unless you have like some kind of custom mechanic that you want to put in here. Just change all of these options and we should be good to go. So some of you guys might asking why we're not adding the player damage here, and I can show you exactly why. If this thing actually moves in on us in 5 seconds, you can actually see that the hitbox of this is a little bit weird, or sometimes it doesn't even hit at all. So you will see that either it will do nothing or it will have an extremely weird hitbox, and you can see it did nothing and now it hits us. So that is the exact reason why we're not using this option. It is way too bugged to use it. So we can simply just use the normal storm as an addition to the water. However, let's see if the water actually moves along perfectly with the storm. It looks like the water tile is actually moving faster than the storm, which is not good. So I just tried out a few things and I realized that this device only has like super limited options. So we only have 2.5 minutes, we have 1.5 minutes, and there's literally nothing, which is the exact amount. Actually, 2 minutes is the perfect one, or like the closest one we can do right now. Okay, so I think I found a solution for this one. So you have 2 triggers which pause and stop this water tower. So as you can see, both of them start normally, and in a few seconds, this trigger activates, which then stops the water tower, which allows the storm to go back in. So it should stop in a few seconds, so like now. Now the storm goes back in, and now the other trigger starts it again and moves it forward, and then it's like a continuous circle now. Alright, if you want to copy the exact same thing, in the prop mover I have 2 settings now. We have the pause when receiving from on channel 1 and the resume when receiving from channel 2, which then we are going to use in our trigger devices. So we have this first one, which is at game start, so it starts from game start, doesn't have to trigger anything, with a 20-second delay, which obviously is the timing. Then we have triggered on channel 2, which is the other trigger, and then triggered on channel 1. So this first trigger will pause this thing after 20 seconds, and then this trigger over here will start in 3 seconds, have a 3 seconds delay so the storm can catch up a little bit, and then triggered itself, so you basically reverse here, and then re-triggers this one, and then the cycle continues. I think that's understandable. I think I want to have this a little bit bigger, so maybe 1 more tile above. Yes, perfect. Okay, so now we copy both of them. Make sure that they're in 4 grid snap, so kind of like that, locked in. I'm going to take them over, flip them to the other side, and then we're obviously going to do the almighty circle trick. When you go into our options, we're going to turn off the grid snap, so make it to off here. So we're going to turn the grid snap off, and we also want to make sure if you have that on, that you don't have it to pull player, because otherwise it will basically pull it to you, which is not a good thing to have. And now we can do the almighty circle trick. Okay, you can now see that we have this little bug here, which sometimes happens. Like, I don't know why that is the thing in Fortnite, but sometimes the tiles are just moving a few centimeters, and then obviously if you make them like in a circle, then it will obviously mess up a little bit. But if you occur with this bug, don't worry, you can just redo it and it should be a perfect circle. But I don't care too much about this right now. I just want to see if the circle actually moves in with the storm. Now, if we move inside of the storm, you can see that in this part, we're going to get attacked by the storm. So the only thing that we can sadly not fix is the sad thing that if you go in here, it looks like this, which is unfortunate, but it's like just the nature of these water tiles. And this time, as you can see, it worked perfectly fine. The circle is completely clean. It's a little bit annoying if that happens, obviously, but what can you do about it? So now we can just copy the entire lower half, including the storm, obviously. So we don't have to redo that again, and we can just copy and paste it to our hotbar and just hold the button. So for example, I'm going to place it in 2, make sure that you have something selected. Now you can see it's now a hotbar. So now we can just go back into Tilted, pull our storm out. Also, I would recommend maybe pressing like F or something so you can actually see the storm. And now we can place it wherever we want. Make sure that we also have the other storm still on it. I'm going to go a little bit up here. And now, as you can see, we have the perfect storm. Also, make sure to obviously place somewhere in the map these trigger devices, which obviously help the storm to be a little bit more synced with the actual storm. Okay, I just found out for whatever reason that Fortnite Creative decided to delete all of the channels in the upper storm. So I have to go manually here, and I literally have to make each and every single one the channels. After fixing a dozen of prop movers, this should now hopefully work. Why are you not moving? And yet again, I got completely rolled by Fortnite Creative since the time from start was off. And I'm pretty sure that I did not set this to off because the storm was working on the other map. So why would it be to off? Which means I have to go into every single trigger and change these to 5 seconds.
Ah, here we go again.
After 30 minutes of painful clicking to 5 seconds, and I just hope that it works now because it's getting a little bit annoying. Please move. It's moving. Most of them are moving. Besides obviously this one done here. So the last thing that I want to do is actually make this storm instant kill because I don't want people actually to go out of the storm. So that should fix the problem that nobody can actually go here and see like the storm moving in, which would be a little bit odd. So, and there you have it. It would be so much easier if Epic would just add an option to move the actual water device in with the prop mover. And I think using the lava tiles would actually be a better option than actually using the water, because the lava tiles have like jumpy stuff and you can actually bounce people off of that. I think making lava storm would actually make a lot more sense than making a water storm currently. So in conclusion, if you want to create a storm, just do it with the lava. I think it's easier. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you learned something today. Also, I'm now streaming on Twitch, so if you want to come over and hang out, link is in the description, and I will see you guys back in the next one. Bye.